My name is Don Matschull. LibreOffice Writer provides several ways to add columns to documents. This video is about using columns in page styles. The main purpose of columns is to produce shorter lines of text. Shorter lines of text are easier to read. A reader's eyes flow more easily from the end of one line of text to the beginning of the next line. This video is concerned with using columns in a fixed size printed document. Documents designed to be read on screens of various sizes call for different design techniques. I'll go to the page styles sections in the styles deck of the sidebar. The styles deck is displayed when the icon on the right with the capital A in the paintbrush is highlighted. The page styles section is displayed when the icon at the top with the page and the paintbrush is selected. I will create a new page style by right-clicking on the default page style and selecting New. In the Organizer tab, I will give this page style a name of 3-column page. I will leave the next style set to 3-column page. In the Page tab, I will leave the page format set at a width of 8.5 inches and a height of 11 inches. I will set left, right, top, and bottom margins to 0.75 inches. In the Columns tab, I will set the columns to 3 with a spacing of 0.20 inches. I could set a separator line between the columns, but I prefer to just use white space. I'll click OK. I'll double-click on 3-column page to apply this page style. You probably can't see the faint column markings. I have a document prepared with dummy text as if it was an unformatted article with a title, a couple of section headings, and a note to place an image. I hit Control-A to select all. First, I want to make certain that there is no direct formatting. I go to Format, Clear Direct Formatting. I copy the text. I go to my 3-column document. To be extra careful, I go to Edit, Paste Special, Paste Unformatted Text. Pre-formatted text can cause problems later, so I'm being extra careful to make sure the text I paste has no hidden formatting. I'll go to View, Zoom, Entire Page, so you can see what happens as I make changes. When you use columns, you want to be sure the columns are separated by enough white space to make them distinguishable. This looks okay, but I want to see what the page looks like if the text is justified. I go to the Paragraph Style section in the sidebar. I see that the text body paragraph style is being used. I might want to use this paragraph style elsewhere, so I'll create a new paragraph style by right-clicking on Text Body and selecting New. In the Organizer tab, I give this paragraph style the name 3-column. I leave the next style set at 3-column. I go to the Alignment tab and select Justified. I click OK. I select all the text by clicking Control-A. I double-click on the 3-column paragraph style to apply it to all the text. I deselect the text. I go to Print Preview and zoom in. While the right-hand edge of the columns now has even text, there are some large gaps between words in some of the lines. I think I like it better the way it was. I close Print Preview. I right-click on the 3-columns paragraph style and select Modify. I change the alignment back to left and click Apply. Sometimes you need to experiment to see what looks best. With shorter lines of text, you don't need as much space between each line. I go to the Indents and Spacing tab. I change the proportional line spacing to 110%. I click Apply. I don't think I even need that much. I try 105%. I click Apply. That looks good. With shorter lines, you can also use a smaller font. I go to the Font tab. I change the size from 12 points to 10 points. I click Apply. That looks good, so I click OK. I want to get a better look, so I click on Print Preview and zoom in. That looks pretty good, so I close Print Preview. Now I need to style the title. Titles are usually centered across the whole page. How do I do that when my page styles is set to 3 columns? I move the cursor to the beginning of the first line of text. I go to Insert, Frame, Frame. In the Type tab, I set the width to 7 inches, 8.5 inches, less 2 0.75-inch margins. I set the anchor to page. I set the height at least to 0.20 inches and make sure auto size is checked. In the position area, I set horizontal to center to entire page. I set vertical to top by 0 inches to page text area. In the Borders tab, I make sure no borders are set. In the Columns tab, I make sure Columns is set to 1. I click OK. I highlight my title in the text area. I hit Ctrl+X to cut this text. I move the cursor to the frame area and hit Ctrl+V to paste the text I cut. I double-click on Title in the sidebar. I place the cursor before the first line of text. I hit Backspace to eliminate the blank line before the text. I go to Print Preview. See how the title fills the whole top area with 3 columns of text beneath. The document is taking shape. I close the Print Preview. I want to style the section headings. I put the cursor in the line with the first section heading. Since I'm using 3 columns, I don't want a heading style with large text. I double-click on heading 6. That looks too small, so I double-click on heading 3. That looks good. I move the cursor to the second section heading and double-click on heading 3. I select Place Image in the second column and hit Delete. I go to Insert, Image, and select an image to insert. The image has already been sized in a photo editing program, so it is approximately the width of the column. This saves a lot of work. I go to Print Preview and zoom in. After formatting the section headings and adding the image, the lines of text in the various columns do not line up with each other. When using columns, a page looks better if the lines in each column are aligned. I close out of the Print Preview mode. I go to the Page Styles area in the sidebar. I right-click on 3-column page and select Modify. I go to the Page tab. On the right-hand side, in the Layout Settings area, I check Use Page Line Spacing. I should have done this when I set up this page style, but I wanted you to see what the page would look like without this setting. I click OK. This solves the problem, but I want to show you one other place to check if it didn't. I go to the Paragraph Styles area in the sidebar. I right-click on 3-column and select Modify. I go to the Indents and Spacing tab. Beneath line spacing, there is a checkbox for Activate Page Line Spacing. This needs to be checked also for line spacing to work. I click OK. I notice a large gap between the image and the text beneath it. I go to View and click on Formatting Marks. As I suspected, there is a blank paragraph beneath the image. I delete this paragraph. That looks better, but the text beneath looks too close now. I click on the image. The graphics frame style is highlighted in the sidebar. I right-click on it and select Modify. I go to the Wrap tab. I set the spacing at the bottom to 0.10 inches and click Apply. That looks good, so I click OK. I go to Print Preview. I'm almost done. Since there's extra space beneath the last column, I decide to try to increase the top margin a little. I close Print Preview. I go to Page Styles in the sidebar and right-click on 3-column page. I select Modify. I go to the Page tab. I change the top margin to 0.85 inches. Watch what happens in the document when I click Apply. This is a small change, but it makes the page look a little nicer. I click OK. I go to Print Preview. I'm finally satisfied with what I have. As you have seen, working with columns can be challenging and time-consuming, but it's worth taking the time to do things right. Using columns and page styles is just one way of using columns in LibreOffice Writer. I may produce more videos illustrating other ways of using columns, but I hope you learned some useful tips from this video. If you did, please give it a like. Then use the link in the description area beneath this video to go to my Writing Efficiently channel and check out more of my video tutorials.